What's up guys, welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video.
So today I'm bringing you the long-awaited flashlight save tutorial. The first guide video I did got over 4000 clicks by now, which is really amazing. So now I finally decided to do the flashlight save tutorial next, and there will also be one more about looping, but we'll come to that later. It seems like many people still don't really know how to hit a flashlight save. They either mess up like the timing or the angle or whatever, and today I just want to help you with that. So I got two of my friends, big shout out to them, and the killer is actually also a German streamer. I will put the link of his Twitch channel in the description down below, and I would really appreciate if you could show him some love. If you found this video helpful, it would be really appreciated if you could share it with your friends and like and also subscribe to my channel, because it really helps me out. And yeah guys, with that being said, I really hope you enjoy this video. Alright, we're in at the shelter woods, let's go. So in order to hit a flashlight save you need two important things. At first you gotta make sure that your timing is on point, and then you also have to hit the angle and positioning of your camera. The positioning of it is quite simple. Just position your neck just about where the killer's face is, and then in the middle of the screen, and you should be able to hit it. And I can't really explain when to hit the timing, but you just have to see it for yourself. So if you would just pick her up really quick. So I'm editing the video right now, and as you can see, the killer pickup animation takes about 3 seconds. And for beginners, there are two easy ways how to time the flashlight save correctly. So the first way would be, as soon as the killer picks up the survivor, you can just count to 2 in your head, because the flashlight blind itself only takes 1 second, and as I said, the killer pickup animation takes 3 seconds. So if you start your beam at 2 seconds, you should get the perfect timing for a flashlight save. And the second way has something to do with the killer pickup animation. That's also quite simple. Basically, just start your beam when the killer is about to pull the survivor above his shoulder. And yeah, and that's basically it. I don't know what else I should say about it. Just go into a custom match with your friends and just practice it a bit, and then you will get the timing down very easily. Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about how you can do a locker save. A locker save is basically when the killer grabs someone out of a locker, then you can also flashlight save him. The angle is pretty much the same as a normal flashlight save, but it can vary from the different lockers. Like on some lockers you might aim a little bit different than on the shack one, for example, but you will learn it after some time. And for the timing, it's actually, you have to hear a specific sound, and you have to start like 0.4 or 5 seconds after you hear the sound. I'm gonna demonstrate it really quick for you, so that you can see how one is done. Alright, there we go. Alright, and now we're gonna take a look at the sound that I told you about. So basically start your flashlight beam right about when you hear this sound. That's basically how you hit a locker save. Locker saves are really hard though, and you need to practice them a lot, but when you can do them, they're actually really useful, because when your teammate is about to go down, he can basically just hop into a locker, then you can lock save him and just restart the chase, and that will give you much time. Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about CJ tags. In order to be able to do a CJ tag, you first have to know what a CJ tag is and how it's performed. So a CJ tag is basically when the killer downs a survivor, and when you throw down the pallet, the survivor who got downed gets pushed to the killer's side, and when you stun the killer, after you stun the killer will probably want to break the pallet, but if you vault the pallet at the same time as the killer wants to break it, the option for the killer to break the pallet gets basically cancelled, and he can't break it anymore. And because he can't break it anymore, and the survivor is laying under him, he picks up the survivor instead of breaking the pallet, and then you can vault the pallet back, and then you have like the perfect timing to do a CJ attack. So as you can see, the survivor is in the pallet, and when you try to stun the killer now, the killer will want to break the pallet after it, and you can vault it 2 times and basically flashlight save the killer. I'm gonna show you how it's done, and then I'm gonna talk about it a bit more. Alright, there we go, and that's the CJ attack. Just keep in mind that the CJ attack is really risky, and when the killer knows about it, he will basically not pick up the survivor, and he will wait for you to vault a pallet and then get an easy hit or potentially a down if you are injured. You can also mess it up if you have a high ping, for example, then you will just not have enough time to vault a pallet back. And if you press your flashlight too early, you will not get a beam, and that also messes you up sometimes. Just watch out for those couple things and then you will get them. Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about locker CJ attacks. It's basically, like it works the same as a normal CJ attack, but it's with a locker instead, and afterwards you have to locker save. So you have to combine basically those two things together. It's a little harder to do, and it doesn't work, like it doesn't always work. But I'm just gonna show you how it's done. Alright, so the same thing as for the CJ attack. When the killer knows about it, they will just not try to grab you out of the locker, they will just wait for you to come out and then grab you instead. And the locker CJ attack is even harder because once the killer picks up the survivor, you still have to position yourself in such a way that you hit the angle, and hitting the angle is oftentimes really hard. And unless you're in a survivor with friends, it's very situational because you won't have many times in solo queue where a survivor just randomly dies in front of a locker and then you can go for one. So I would only go for them if you're just hanging out with friends and just want to have some fun or want to hit some clips for a montage or something. But other than that, don't go for them. Alright, so next up is the, how I call them, grab saves. So it's basically when someone gets grabbed off of a pallet or a window, then you can also flashlight save him, and the timing is a bit, like the animation looks a bit different, but the timing is basically the same as for a normal flashlight save. It just looks a bit different because of the animation. So I'm just gonna demonstrate you one really quick. Alright, there we go. Alright, so the timing for the pallet grab save is basically also just start your beam when the killer is about to put the survivor above his shoulder. That's basically it for the pallet save. And you can do the same thing with a window as well. It's also the same as for a pallet. I'm just gonna show that to you really quick. Alright, there we go. And to me it feels like that for the window one, you don't need to start your beam when the killer is about to pull the survivor above his shoulder, but you have to start it when the survivor is above his shoulder. It's so you have to start a bit later than for the pallet one. Alright, so next up is the deadout save, I guess you can call it. It's basically when you wouldn't get the save in time, you can use the deadout for distance, and you can basically go through the killer, flick your camera in a 180-degree angle, and then just flashlight save like normally. It's a bit hard to pull off if you've never done them, but once you learn them, they're actually quite simple to perform. So I'm just gonna show you one really quick.
Dude, you're so fucking bad at this game.
I'm just gonna cut that out. Alright, so next up I'm gonna show you, I don't know how to call them, I'm just gonna call them the weird flashlight saves, I guess. Or the flashlight saves through walls. On some maps you can see like barricaded windows like this. And you can flashlight save through them actually. If the killer is like facing you and you have the perfect angle, which is very situational by the way, so you will probably get one in like 1,000 games probably or something. It's very situational, but you can do it, and I'm gonna show you how to do them. It's also like a normal flashlight saves, but you really have to find a good angle to do it. I'm just gonna demonstrate you one really quick so you can see it, and then I can explain a bit more about it. Alright, nice. So yeah, like I said, for this one it really just comes down to finding the correct angle, because it's basically a normal flashlight save, but through a little hole. So the angle can be quite tough, but once you find it, you just have to like do a normal flashlight save, and that's quite easy. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. As I already mentioned in the intro, I would really appreciate if you could share this video with your friends, because it really helps my channel out a lot. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I'm currently trying to reach 1,000 subscribers.
And guys, really important, don't forget to follow my Twitch channel. Bye!
Very wise words. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Bye bye.
I don't give up. Nah, I don't give in. Came up from nothing, I knew what I wanted, I needed to win. When you do it, how I done it, when you get to stunting, they start to forget where you been. I was dreaming while you left as a kid. Nowadays, know it is what it is. Freestyle till I wrote with the pen. 17, that's the way I began.